Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is a huge night in Rangers season as they welcome Benfica to Ibrox for the second leg of this Europa League last 16 tie. The first leg ended all square at 2-2 after Rangers took an early lead 7 minutes in through Tom Lawrence, but were pegged back in added on time in the first half thanks to a Di Maria penalty. But Benfica were not level for long. Just before the break, Dujon Sterling scored from 6 yards out to give Rangers a lead going into the second 45. But unfortunately for the Gers, they could not hold on to their lead as Connor Galton headed home across into his own net, leaving the tie all to play for tonight. Rangers progressed through to the Scottish Cup semi-final at the weekend, which will bring much needed confidence to the Gers, still leading the title race and still well in with a chance of going far in the Europa League. Philippe Clement has brought back the fear factor when teams face this iconic club. For Benfica, they continued their push for back-to-back league titles after a 3-1 home win to Estoril Pereira to keep them just 1 point off Sporting in first place. In the league away from home, Benfica have only won 3 of their last 6, which showcases the imperfections in this Benfica side. This is the 4th meeting between the two, and all the previous 3 have ended in draws, but will someone take the victory home tonight? So for an Ibrox special in this mid-March Europa League last 16 second leg tie, will it be Rangers or Benfica who will head to the last 8 of the Europa League? It's going to be a cracker tonight. You know, when you just get that feeling of a game is going to really produce. This has all the ingredients for it. Almost every game I've watched of Rangers in the Europa League, in the knockout stages especially, they're just special games. Comebacks occur, early goals happen. You just get everything, and the Rangers home support will make this such an almighty difficult place to come to for Benfica, who will obviously have dealt with hostile atmospheres already in Europe previously and in Portugal as well. But the Ibrox atmosphere is just something different. They can really make the stadium rock, quite literally. They can be so loud, and what helps Rangers perform so well in these European nights for me personally at home is the fact that the players give something for the fans to get behind. They get going quickly and they get started early. They don't have any slow starts. They're usually fast out the blocks, which gets the fans on board, which racks up the atmosphere and makes it really difficult for away travelling teams to come here. But Benfica have their talents. They have their ability to get a positive result tonight. It is not all going to be fun and games for Rangers. Benfica will for sure have their moments. Of course, they have the likes of Angel Di Maria, yes, at 36, but still an outstanding player. He scored in the first leg from the penalty spot. He also scored in Benfica's playoff round against Toulouse, where he also scored twice from the penalty spot. They've got Marcus Leonardo up front as well, who was brought in from Santos in January. He's scored 5 goals so far for Benfica, all in the league, and he made his first start at the weekend for them in the league, and he's starting again tonight. So it's back-to-back starts for the Brazilian 20-year-old up front for Benfica. He will sure cause some problems, but overall, from the first leg, Rangers defended quite well. The penalty they conceded was rather unlucky with John Suter heading the ball onto his own hand and conceding a penalty. I thought that was a little bit harsh, in fairness. And the second goal was a quite silly own goal from Connor Galton. A cross came into the area. Galton was all alone and didn't realise that, panicked, tried to head the ball away and headed it straight into the back of the net. So there was a lot to like from last week from a defensive point of view for Rangers. I thought the goals they conceded were just rather unlucky to a certain extent. So if they can defend like they did last week and attack with fluidity and a freedom, I just think this will be a really hard night for Benfica, but they for sure have the talent and ability to cause Rangers problems. That is for sure. The last time Rangers played at home, they were defeated by 2-1 to Motherwell, their last league game. But they were victorious away from home at the weekend against Hibernian in the Cup quarter-final. 2-0 win, a goal from Lundstrom in the first half and a Fabio Silva goal in the second half gave Rangers the pass through to the semi-final. They were up against 9 men for the last 20 minutes, but they can only beat what's put in front of them, and that is exactly what they did. So Rangers have won the League Cup. They are into the semi-finals of the main cup. They are at top of the league. They are still in the Europa League at the moment. It's a brilliant season for Rangers, who had a manager swap within the season, getting rid of Michael Beale back in October of last year, bringing in Philippe Clement, the 49-year-old who turns 50 next week. And he has been an absolute revolutionary manager for Rangers at the moment. 31 games in charge, 25 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. Just the one defeat here at Ibrox, and that was in that Premiership defeat to Motherwell a couple of weeks ago now. But it just seems like they're a lot more of a tougher team to beat. They just, there's that, I mentioned it just in the pre-match introduction. It just seems like they're harder to beat. They've got that fear factor back. Coming to Ibrox, you were worried before you even start the game more often than not. So both sides here appearing from out of the tunnel at Ibrox. There is approximately 1,900 Benfica supporters. So they have travelled down from Portugal. It's a 3-hour flight. And will it be worth it? As the road to Dublin is still on for Rangers. The final taking place in Ireland. And they've got to get past a big obstacle of Benfica. It won't be easy, but it will breed this Rangers team so much confidence if they can get beyond a team like Benfica with so much quality and won the Portuguese league last season. They are not a team to not take seriously. They're a brilliant outfit, and we're going to go through both sides now. Just the one change for Rangers from the first leg lineup last week. Jack Butland remains in goal. Wasn't called up, unfortunately, today for England. Hasn't been called up for the England squad since June 2019. Back four, right back is James Tavernier, making his 449th Rangers appearance. At left back is Rivdan Yilmaz, and 2 centre-halves of Connor Goldson, who scored an own goal last week, and John Suter, who gave away the penalty. 2 older midfielders, Mohamed Diamande, signed from Norgeland on loan in the January. He's going to play alongside John Lundstrom. 3 behind the striker on the right is a shock start for Scott Wright, making just his second start in the Europa League this season. His first came against Aris Limassol in game week 2. On the left is Fabio Silva, formerly of Benfica during his youth days. And up front is Cyril Dessers, who's only got the 1 goal so far in this competition. That came away from home in the last group stage game against Real Betis. Same for Benfica, just the 1 change from last week. It is Anatoly Trubin in goal with a back 4. Right back is Alexander Barr, making his 10th Europa League appearance of his career. Left back is Frederick Auchnez, and 2 centre-halves of Antonio Silva and captain Nicolas Otamendi. 2 holding midfielders of João Neves, the 19-year-old, and alongside him is Florentino. And 3 behind the striker on the right is Angel Di Maria, who's got 3 goals in 3 Europa League appearances so far this season. On the left is David Neres, who has started the last 3 Europa League games now in a row. And the centre attacker midfielder is going to be Rafa, who has played in every game so far this season for Benfica. And up front, through the middle, is their number 36, Marcus Leonardo, brought in from Santos in January for £16 million. He's got 5 league goals. He got 3 in his first 3, and it is his first start in European competition. As they are the 2 starting 11s, as we're edging closer to kick-off here at Ibrox, where Rangers take on Benfica. They've met 3 times previously, all 3 ending in a draw, an aggregate scoreline of 7-all. We were treated to a 2-2 last time out. Rangers took an early lead, and what they would do to have another early lead tonight. It is an earlier kick-off of 5:45, but I think the atmosphere will just be the same, if not better, for the Gers supporters to get this team going and to get them starting in the right way. They've got to start quickly, put this Benfica side under pressure, and allow the home support to get on your side and really try and tilt the momentum your way. But it'll be Rangers to kick off, kicking right to left. Benfica left to right in this Europa League last 16. Second leg, it's 2-2 on aggregate. Will it go Rangers' way or Benfica? It will be extra time or penalties if there is no winner decided in 90 minutes and 120. As Diamande short ball back here to Suter, and Rafa's already away for Benfica on the right hand side. Has to slow down. He's got very little support around him. He's in the final third here, Rafa, going towards the byline. He's got Suter and Diamande on his back. He spins and kicks the ball, and it doesn't come off Suter, straight out of play. Goal kick for Rangers. Bit of a edgy start there from Diamande, giving the ball away loosely in the midfield. I don't think he'll have to be told that that can't happen again. Just going to sort out the aggregate scoreline here. He was brilliant in the first leg, Mohamed Diamande, providing the assist for the early Tom Lawrence goal in the 7th minute, but he can't be doing that again because you can't be gifting this Benfica side opportunities, especially their attacking 4 players they've got up there. They are brilliant players that Benfica will look to utilise here. As their head coach Roger Smith, taking charge of his 99th game for Benfica, brought in at the start of last season, winning them that league title. It's a Benfica throw-in. Midway side, the Rangers half on this near side. It'll be taken by number 6, Alexander Barr, who throws it here into Angel Di Maria. Looking for this will switch out to the left. Goes back to the halfway line to Neves. Across to the left centre-back here of Nicolas Otamendi, who brings the ball forward and plays it out to the left-back of Auschnes, who is primarily right-footed. Forced to go backwards and plays a right-footed ball to Florentino in the midfield. It's now Neres. Back to Florentino on the far side. He's running out of room. He's tackled strongly by Diamande, who will clear the ball forward. It's a high ball looking for Dessers. Headed down by Otamendi to Neves. And then back here into Antonio Silva, midway side his own half. Will bring it forward for Benfica. It's now back to the goalkeeper here of Trubin in his 18-yard box. He's got Dessers pressing him. He's been forced to clear the ball out to the Benfica right, where it's headed inside by Barr. Finds Di Maria in a nice pocket of space inside his own half here. He's going to go for a ball over the top, looking for the run of David Neres, overhit and into the hands of Rangers number 1, Jack Butland. He was not called up to the England squad this afternoon, despite calls for him getting back into the England team. He has got 9 caps already, but Gareth Southgate decided to go for Sam Johnston and Aaron Ramsdale instead. As Rangers have lost possession here inside the Benfica half. Another throw-in for the away side. All in red tonight as he throws it across towards Neres. Tackled by Tavernier. Last touch off the Brazilian. Throwing for Rangers on the halfway line here. And it'll be Yilmaz to take it. Throws it back along here to Suter, who works it back to Butland as Suter was being closed down there by Leonardo. It's now with Connor Galton, who scored the own goal to make it 2-2 last week. Plays a high ball down the right-hand side there where it avoids the header from Scott Wright, and it'll go out for a Benfica throw-in on that far side with Frederick Auschnes, who has now made more appearances this season than he did in the entirety of last season. The Norwegian left-back, as he goes beyond Neres and through into the Rangers half here for Suter, who goes long. It's a high ball over the top, looking for Silva, headed away by Antonio Silva of Benfica, only as far as Tom Lawrence, who's tackled strongly on the edge of the box, and Benfica can clear, but they lose out on halfway there. Neres tackled by Lundstrom. And it's Rangers back in possession, who've just got 1 win in their last 3. The Gers. They were on a run of 11 wins in a row before that defeat to Motherwell in their last game in the league. But it's only a slight hiccup. They are back on winning ways now after reaching the Cup semi-final at the weekend, beating Hibernian by 2-0. As it's range on the ball on the near side. Fabio Silva kicks the ball off Di Maria. Throw-in for Rangers. And he'll be taken by Yilmaz, who was brought in from Besiktas last season. It's his first ever club away from Besiktas. Deciding to move to Scotland and to join Rangers, where he's only made 42 appearances previously for the club. As the ball down the line here towards Scott Wright, he'll give chase. Otamendi beats him to it and plays it inside to Florentino. Good defensive work by Otamendi. It's now Auschnes, the left-back, running forward beyond the halfway line, playing it down the line now for Neres, who's got Tavernier chasing him down. Tavernier can't take the ball off him. Still with Neres on the left-hand side. Crosses low into the area. Leonardo tries to beat Suter to it, but the centre-half clears the ball back out to the Benfica left, where they can continue the attack with Neres, getting away from Diamande, right on the corner flag here. Goes back to Auschnes, It was tackled by Tavernier. The ball stays in, and Rangers could look to counter. Tavernier dinking the ball into the centre of the midfield. Great chested touch there by Lawrence. Run made in behind by Dessers. Can't quite play the ball in time, Lawrence, and then gets the ball stuck under his feet and loses it to Florentino. And that could have been a dangerous attack there. Lawrence had a lot of room, but the pass was never on for Dessers and eventually lost the ball. Benfica bring it forward. In a central area, Rafa through to Leonardo. Well cut out again by Suter. He will have his work cut out tonight, having to deal with Marcus Leonardo, the 20-year-old who has a lot of energy up front. The Brazilian striker. And here is another Brazilian with the ball in his hands at the moment. David Neres. He'll drop the ball and it'll be taken by Frederick Auchnez, the left-back, who has also never scored in the Europa League, making his 16th appearance in the competition. Throwing into the area. Leonardo trying to hold it up against Galton. Goes beyond him and away, cleared by Suter. Dessers will chase it. Antonio Silva controls it out to his left to Otamendi. Good defensive work again. This time by Antonio Silva as Otamendi tries to clear, takes too long on it, but is bundled to the ground from behind by Dessers, and that's a free kick for Benfica. And Otamendi stayed down here. Just took too long on the ball there, Otamendi, and allowed Dessers to get the challenge in. Yes, it was a heavy one and a rightly given free kick, but Otamendi can't allow himself to take too long on the ball because challenges like that will send him to the floor and it'll get the Rangers crowd going. They like strong and fierce tackles. But it's a free kick here for Benfica, just on the far side. Neves goes back here to Otamendi, who's back to his feet and he's okay to continue. Neves turns away from Lawrence. That's a great bit of skill that from João Neves, who keeps striding the ball forward. Lays it off here for Neres, who's tackled from behind by Lawrence, and that'll be a foul. Tripped. Free kick for Benfica. And I cannot see João Neves, the number 87 for Benfica, staying at the club for much longer. He's absolutely brilliant at just 19 years of age. Benfica on the ball on this near side here with Rafa. Flicks it through the legs of Yilmaz into Di Maria, who keeps the ball and plays it back inside to Rafa, who's got available options to him. Finds Neres, back to Rafa, forward into the box to Leonardo. Can't return it to the number 27, but headed forward to Rafa by Di Maria. Cut out by Lundstrom. Falls to Tavernier. Ball over the top here for Dessers. It's nodded down by Antonio Silva. And again, it's been a solid start from the Benfica centre-backs. Dealt with the balls forward from Rangers in the opening 7.5 minutes. And it's on the edge of the 18-yard box here with Nicolas Otamendi, formerly of Manchester City. 36 years of age now. The Argentine was at the heartbeat of the Argentina World Cup victory in Qatar back in 2022. As he plays the ball out to the right here to his centre-back partner Silva. Forward beyond the halfway line here to Neres, who's just drifted across from the left-hand side to the right. Now with Barr, the right-back, forward to Leonardo. Loses out to Suter. And Rangers back in possession with Jack Butland. He's been equal to him so far, Suter, as he's having to deal with Marcus Leonardo up front for Benfica. Butland goes long, left-footed, it's a high one. Up towards Dessers, free header for Otamendi, but as far as Diamande. Inside the Benfica half, keeps it away from Florentino. Goes back here to Scott Wright, deflects to Diamande, switches it towards Fabio Silva on the left. Dealt with not very well though by Barr. Back out to the left by Lundstrom towards Fabio Silva. But out of play it goes. Misdirected pass there from John Lundstrom looking for Fabio Silva, who spent 2 stints at Porto. And in between that, spent 2 years at Benfica. It's with left-back Auchnez in the defensive third here for Benfica. Goes to the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box of Anatoly Trubin. It's now with Antonio Silva in the 18-yard box. Forward towards Neres. Deflects to Fabio Silva in the area. As he tries to cross it on the edge of the box. It's dealt with by Florentino, but he can't get rid of it. Falls to Lundstrom 22 yards out. Pokes it to his left here to Fabio Silva. Just inside the box. Right-footed cross to the far post. Scott Wright tries to head it across. It falls to the near post where it's headed away by Auchnez. Oh, as far as Scott Wright. Back inside for Diamande. Tries to twist and turn, but can't get away from Florentino. And Benfica need to look to clear here as they're under a little bit of pressure from Rangers. It's in the 18-yard box of Auchnez. He will clear it long for Benfica. Header won though by Yilmaz. Forward to Lundstrom. Flicked over to find Dessers on the edge of the box. Otamendi clears for Benfica. Out to the left, and it's a brilliant ball. Benfica in here with Di Maria. One-on-one with Galton. Inside the area, on the left-hand side. He crosses. It's a header won by John Suter. And behind it goes for a Benfica throw-in on the far side. Chances at both ends. I feel like Rangers should have done slightly better with theirs. As on the halfway line, it's with right centre-back for Benfica, Antonio Silva. Forward to Neres in the central area. He's got Di Maria to the left. He's going to try and find him with a high ball forward. Headed away by Tavernier. Controlled by Scott Wright. Can't get away from Auschnes, who now has the ball for Benfica. About 20 yards out, running in towards the box. He goes to the edge of the box to Rafa, who wants to shoot. He will. It deflects, and behind it goes. Comes off Wright, who was back doing his defensive work for Rangers. The number 23, blocking the Rafa shot. Does seem like they've got the freedom and ability to just interchange that Benfica 3 behind the alone striker. Di Maria's already found himself on the left wing. Rafa's been going from one side to another as well. It'll be a left-footed outswinger on the far side from Di Maria with his corner. In it goes. It's a low one. It's stabbed away at by Diamande. Headed forward by Fabio Silva, who will run around João Neves, and he gets away from Auschnes, but can't get away from João Neves again on the recovery. But João Neves can't keep it away from Tom Lawrence. Feeds it out to the right here to Fabio Silva on the edge of the box. Back through for Lawrence, who strikes it towards goal, and it goes through the arms and the legs of Trubin and deflects behind for a corner. Almost a disastrous error there from the Benfica number 1. João Neves losing out on the halfway line to Lawrence. Quickly played it to his right to Fabio Silva, who played it in behind for Lawrence, who got the shot away beyond Otamendi. And it's been a rainy Glasgow. So the ball just slipped through the hands of Trubin and deflected off the back of his leg and behind for a corner. Could have been a lot worse there for Benfica. As it'll be a Tavernier right foot out swinging corner from that far side. They've got Golson in there, Silva, Dessers and Suter. Low ball in. Lawrence it goes to. Strikes it towards goal. Deflected on the 6-yard line by Auschnes. Back to Tavernier. Recycles it in. Strong header from Antonio Silva. And Benfica can look to try and counter-attack here. They've got Neres out to the right. They find him just beyond the halfway line. Neres one-on-one with Yilmaz. Takes the touch. Keeps it away from Yilmaz. Switches it. Looking for Di Maria. It's a perfect ball. Great control. Di Maria try to take on Diamande on the edge of the box. He's tackled by the Ivorian, who pokes it away only as far as Auschnes, who strikes it from afar, and it's an easy save down low to Butland's right. And it still remains 0-0 here. But both teams showing their capabilities of getting shots on goal and testing the goalkeepers. As that Lawrence strike almost went in. Trubin very fortunate that he moved his back right leg across to just stop that from going in. That would have been a huge error from the young Ukrainian goalkeeper. It's still 0-0 here, but a lively start from both. As we're midway inside the Rangers half here with number 6, Goldson. Bit of time on the ball. As West Ham have scored 1-0, and that's 1-1 in aggregate, I believe, against Freiburg. It's Fabio Silva just inside the Benfica half. Goes inside to his right to Diamande. Bit of time on the ball here. Forced to go back to Lundstrom. And then across into the centre circle here to Connor Goldson, who's only ever scored once in the Europa League previously, in 46 previous appearances. Goal came back in December 2020 as he tried a diagonal ball out to the left. It was touched down by Silva but couldn't quite keep it in play. Just bounced out for a Benfica goal kick. Definitely want to get the number 7 Fabio Silva on the ball and running at this Benfica defence. João Neves receives the ball in the 18-yard box for Benfica. Out to the left here to Otamendi. Strides forward with the ball. Releases it to Auschnes. Inside for Di Maria. Back into Otamendi. Midway inside his own half. Lays it off for the number 87 of João Neves, who has got a contract at Benfica till 2028. So it will take some fee from a big European club to move him away from Benfica. As they've got Neres away on the right-hand side. Runs out of pitch on this near side. It's a throw-in for Rangers, taken quickly by Yilmaz. Throws it back to the number 5 of John Suter. Golson in the 18-yard box. Across it goes to Suter. And Rangers will look to build out from the back. And Rangers do have 12 home wins from 14 in the Scottish Premiership. Winning 10 in a row before the loss to Motherwell as Tavernier looks into the 18-yard box with a high ball towards Dessers. Collected by the goalkeeper of Trubin. Seems like they're going very direct in the opening exchanges of the game here, Rangers. Looking for those balls over the top or just the high balls onto the heads of the Benfica defence. Forcing them into a header or a clearance where it could drop for a Rangers player on the seconds. It's Benfica again, run out of room on that far side. And it's a Rangers throw-in, and they've played it back into their own half here to Suter, who's looking out to the Rangers left as he brings the ball forward. He's got Rafa chasing him behind. He plays it to the left here to Yilmaz. Everything to his right, early cross, deflects off Neres, and he'll go through to the Benfica goalkeeper of Trubin, who's in a full yellow kit tonight for the away team. They have lost twice away from home this season in the league. Benfica won very recently to Porto, where they were beaten by 5-0. It was quite the battering from their local rivals as they win a free kick on halfway here. Marcus Leonardo brought down for Benfica, and the away side can have the ball from a dead ball situation as Neves goes over the top looking for the run of Alexander Barr, the right back, over hit straight into the hands of Butland. Rangers have it with their right centre-half here of Connor Galton, who played all 56 games in their 2020-2021 season when they won their first Premiership for such a long time. As Scott Wright in the area is away, crosses into the area, deflects off Auschnes, and that's a corner for Rangers. Good bit of running there from Scott Wright, who I was absolutely stunned to see start. That's no disrespect to Scott Wright, but he's not really been in favour this season. Was actually sent off in Michael Beale's last game in charge against Aberdeen at home, his former club. But he got away down the right-hand side there and took on a couple of Benfica players and has forced the corner. Of course, it will be taken by the right foot of Tavernier. Plenty of bodies in there to aim for. It's an outswinger to the edge of the box. It will drop to Yilmaz, who touches and strikes it, and the deflection goes through to Otamendi's head, who can clear it. Up only as far as Yilmaz, who heads it back forward and then eventually headed back to the halfway line to Lundstrom, who has to hurry a clearance away and doesn't quite catch it. And it's out to the right back here for Benfica of Alexander Barr. In behind the Rangers defence is Rafa onside. He is for now in the 18-yard box. Pulls it across, and that's the teasing ball. And Marcus Leonardo should have got on the end of that. Went right across the 6-yard box, but Marcus Leonardo wasn't there in time to finish home. It would have been an easy goal for him. And Rangers get away with that because that's a big chance. I'm not sure if he was onside. The flag had stayed down. But if the goal was scored, then we probably would have had a VAR check there as Fabio Silva runs into 2 red shirts and loses possession. And it's a free kick instead for Benfica. Well onside. Big chance for Benfica. Rafa making a run out to the right-hand side in the final third. Put the ball across to the near post, and Leonardo was just entering the scene as the ball went across and just missed out on a really big opportunity there. As we're just over 18 minutes in here at Ibrox. Both sides have settled into this game, I think. I wouldn't say one team's more dominant than the other. They've both had equal chances and equal spells on the ball. As it's in the 18-yard box for Benfica. Antonio Silva tries to take on Fabio Silva and just gets beyond him. That was risky. But the Benfica centre-half will send it over the top. Down the right-hand side, Di Maria will chase it. Suter gets there first towards the corner flag. He can play it across to the goalkeeper of Butland, who's been closed down by Rafa. He takes no chances there. Butland just gets rid beyond the halfway line. Header won there by Otamendi as he strikes the head of Scott Wright. No foul given. But it did seem a bit of a thump there from Otamendi on right. Sadil Otamendi won it. Just his fist just landed into the back of the head there of Scott Wright. Not a foul or anything. It was a well-won header, but still caught him. So it's just going to be a drop ball for Benfica, I believe, on halfway when we get back underway here. Scott Wright taking a bit of time here, getting some medical treatment. As there is Philippe Clement giving some instructions to Rivdan Yilmaz. Belgian head coach Philippe Clement. Previously worked at Club Bruges as the manager, but spent 5 years as the assistant before becoming the manager after 2 years away at Genk. previous club was Monaco. But they are even in this game with Benfica. It's been a lively start. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If you've got any predictions for how you think the game's going to go, then put them in the chat. Scott Wright back to his feet. He's just going to have to depart to the touchline on the far side as the ball dropped to João Neves, and we are back underway here. Scott Wright will have to just wait to be signalled back on, and he already has been. And we're back 11v11. Benfica on the ball. All Rangers players are in their own half at the moment. It's Antonio Silva, the right centre-back, into Florentino in the midfield. Beyond Fabio Silva, then forward to Marcus Leonardo. Can't find Di Maria on the right flank. Picked up by Fabio Silva. Ball inside by Yilmaz to Diamande. Back into Tavernier. Hurries the ball cleared. Looking out to the left-hand side. Cut out by Florentino for Benfica. And it's now into the left wing position to João Neves. He's got Neres in front of him. Still with Neves. Tries to cut away from Lundstrom. Tackle by Rangers number 4. But just deflect out to the left to Neres. Back heel into Auschnes. Byline. Cross. Deflects into the area. Lack of communication between Tavernier and Galton. The ball's still alive. Still needs to be cleared. And eventually it's Lundstrom to just hook the ball away up towards Dessers, who can try and beat Otamendi to it. But it's gone through both of them. And into the feet of Antonio Silva. And it's Benfica back on the ball. Bit of a worrying lack of communication there between Galton and Tavernier, who have been undroppable for Rangers since they've both been at the club. Di Maria on the left wing again. He's got Neres in front of him making the run into the area. The pass is a bit short. Cut out and cleared by Galton. And it's up towards the halfway line for a throw-in for Benfica. Di Maria receiving the ball. A bit too much time on the ball for the Argentine. And it's all the way back into the centre circle now with Antonio Silva. It's on the near side to the right back of Alexander Barr. 15 yards inside the Rangers half, looking for the next pass, and it's sort of mishit. Very inaccurate. Nowhere near Rafa. And that'll be a throw-in for Rangers. Bit of a free one to receive there. It's Lundstrom on halfway. To his right to Diamande. He's got Tavernier in buckets of space, and it's just behind him, but it will reach Tavernier eventually. He's just inside his own half. Goes forward to Diamande. It's now into Suter. Diamande again. Back to Galton. It's now Rangers to have a spell on the ball. It's out to Yilmaz in the final third. The left back getting forward. Chopping inside away from Rafa. Right-footed cross goes into the far post. Header won by Auschnes for Benfica. Tavernier will beat Neres to it. Attack still alive here for Rangers. Diamande. Forward for Scott Wright. He's just coming across here into a central area. Pokes it through towards Dessers. Cut up by Antonio Silva. It's now Benfica to bring the ball away. Do apologise for the noise. As Rangers win it back in the Benfica half, given away there. And it's already been worked back into the Rangers half there. Or Benfica, sorry. It will go. As we're midway side the Rangers half. And they're on the ball. Forward and out left from Lawrence to Yilmaz, and it'll be the Turkish left back to cross it in towards the far post. Flicked away by Otamendi. Dessers looked like he was destined to put that towards goal. Tries to be recycled into the box by Diamande. Deflects across to the Rangers left to Yilmaz. It's now out to the opposite flank here to Tavernier. Touch out of his feet. He delivers the cross. It's a heavy one towards the far post, and it has to be headed behind there by Alexander Barr. And I'm not quite sure if that's gone for a throw-in or a corner. I think it'll be a throw-in here for Rangers. So Yilmaz with the throw-in in the final third. 25 minutes into this first half seemed to have flown by as the throwing goes long in towards the area, headed away by Barr as it was reaching Lawrence, hooked away for Benfica. Goldson retreats it for Rangers, all on his own on the halfway line. Plays it to his left for Suter. Forward to Diamande, then back to Goldson. Across to Suter. To Yilmaz on halfway. On this near side. Pass deflects off Di Maria and it stays in. And he plays a ball forward, looking for the run of Marcus Leonardo just too far in front of him. Dealt with by Goldson, 25 yards away from the Rangers' goal. And it'll be the home side back in possession. You know, look, both teams are looking to get the first goal here. It's not a cagey affair where it's tentative and there's mistakes being made. It's pretty even, and both teams have settled into the game rather quickly. As Lundstrom goes over the top down the Rangers' left, it's volleyed away by Antonio Silva, and it's headed backwards by Scott Wright, only as far as Di Maria. And it's now back into the Benfica goalkeeper, Trubin, who tries to clear it first time. Slices behind for a Rangers thrown in the final third on the near side. He's had a couple of nervy moments already. Anatoly Trubin, the 6'6" goalkeeper. As a throw-in, finds Fabio Silva back into Yilmaz, away from the challenge of Di Maria. Yilmaz inside to his right to Lundstrom. Forward for Lawrence. Tries to get it across to the right to Tavernier. It deflects away, but recollected for Rangers through Suter. He plays it into the path of Scott Wright in the right wing position. Back to Suter, on the angle, delivers a cross in, and it's headed over the bar by Dessers. He wants the corner, and I think he's received it. Suter, being the creator there, the centre-half, getting forward in a right wing position. It's a brilliant ball in. About 8 yards out, Dessers had the header deflected behind for a corner. So another opportunity for Rangers to get this ball in the box. Still 2-2 on aggregate here. It'll be Yilmaz to deliver. Left-footed out swinger. In it goes. Delicious ball in and volleyed away by Auchnez on the penalty spot. Chased down by Tavernier, who beats Rafa to it and plays it all the way back to Butland on the edge of the 18-yard box. So there'll be no counter-attack from Benfica that Rangers have to deal with. And it's a little bit of momentum here for the home side, who are playing their 48th game of the season in all competitions. Rangers, they've lost 7. And they are 2 goals away from scoring 100 in all competitions already, which would be a fantastic landmark to hit. They've got it midway inside their own half. It was Suter. It was forward and just slightly to the left here to Diamande. On the halfway line, goes into the centre circle here with Lundstrom. Bit of time on the ball, shifts it to his right here to Galton. He will dribble forward 10 yards and plays a pass into right, out to the right side here to Lawrence, tackled by Auchnez, cleared on the edge of the box by Otamendi. Headed forward by Galton into the centre of the park here for Diamande, who touches it away from Neves. Brings in Lundstrom. Forward to Fabio Silva. Inside to Diamande. Then back to Lundstrom. Forward towards Fabio Silva. Cut out by Di Maria, but his touch gets away from him, but he can tackle Diamande. And Di Maria goes forward into Rafa. Runs being made ahead of him, but he'll keep the ball and he'll keep dribbling forward. Rafa drifting out towards the Benfica left. He's tackled strongly by Tavernier, who brings the ball away here. The Rangers captain lifts it down the right-hand side here for Scott Wright. In the final third, he's got Otamendi to run at. Crosses it in towards the box. It's a diving header away from Antonio Silva. And it drops to the Benfica left-back of Auchnez, who goes forward towards Marcus Leonardo. Bullied off the ball by Suter, who's been brilliant so far tonight. And Rangers can come forward again. Lawrence out to this near side to Fabio Silva. On his right foot. Goes across to Lawrence. Glides the ball into the far post. It's a free header for Auchnez, but only as far as Galton on halfway. So it's Rangers in the ascendancy at the moment. As Lundstrom goes for a very early cross into the box, headed away by Antonio Silva. Deflects through for Lawrence, and again, Rangers can start from the halfway line. At the moment, when Benfica win the ball back or clear it, they just can't get on the second ball. And it allows Rangers to come forward again, and that pass through in behind towards Yilmaz. Overhit by Diamande. It's a goal kick for Benfica. Just under half an hour in here at Ibrox. Still 0-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. It'll be taken by Otamendi to his goalkeeper of Trubin in his 6-yard box. Clips it forward up to the halfway line, where the header's won by Goldson on Leonardo. Helped on by Tavernier in a central area. Still in the air. Controlled down by Neves, who gets around Diamande.
Brilliant midfield work from Neves. He goes down the line here for Di Maria, and he will continue his run. And he'll try and play it through instead here to Neres, inside the area, on the right-hand side, towards the byline. Pulls it across, volleyed away by Tavernier. Controlled by Di Maria. His strike deflects through, header towards goal. And 6 yards out. It can't be directed on target. Unfortunate there from Marcus Leonardo. Great ball down the right by Di Maria to find Neres. He went round the outside of Goldson. And the pull back couldn't quite find Leonardo. It eventually did with the deflected Di Maria shot. And couldn't quite control his header there from around 8 yards out. And the Rangers build from the back down the right-hand side here with Diamande. Goes inside to Lundstrom. Back to the right back of Tavernier. Into the 18-yard box to keep the ball through Butland. And out to the left it goes to number 3, Rivdan Yilmaz. Goldson on the ball. Forward to number 4, Lundstrom. He's played every minute so far in the Europa League this season. John Lundstrom has 2 goals previously in the competition. One away at Borussia Dortmund and the one at home in the semi-final to take them to the final against RB Leipzig. So has scored in big moments in the Europa League already. John Lundstrom in his career as a long ball into the box is headed away again by Antonio Silva. Seems like he's won every header so far. Antonio Silva, as Di Maria, out of all people, gives it away in the Benfica half. And Rangers work it out to this near side to Fabio Silva. It's now into the centre of the midfield to Lundstrom. Forward to Lawrence. Flicks it on for Dessers. Lays it off for Scott Wright, who strikes it. Just seems to have leant back there as he struck from 20 yards out. Always rising over the crossbar there from Scott Wright, who's had a good start to the game. In for the injured Dujon Sterling, who scored his first Rangers goal in the first leg. But misses out tonight. Benfica from the goal kick, brought forward by João Neves outside the 18-yard box to his right to Antonio Silva. It's now Bar the right back, 1-2 with Neves. Now into Florentino, who goes forward and down the line looking for Di Maria. Cut out by Suter. Great ball forward for Lawrence, who works himself out to the left-hand side. Brings in Diamande in the corner of the box. Crosses into the area. Headed away by Antonio Silva once again. Headed inside by Di Maria to Florentino. Eventually put forward by Bar. Deflects, I think, off the head of Neves and out to Suter on the Rangers left. And again, it's definitely Rangers at the moment who are on top. That is for sure. Not really testing the goalkeeper too much, but they're having the possession. And just as a note, tonight's referee is Slovakian Ivan Krusliak. And the VAR is Christian Dinger, German. Internationals. Diamande's ball does just about work its way to Tavernier on the right. Crosses to the far post. Again, Antonio Silva winning another header. As far as Fabio Silva, who controls it. Plays it back out to the right to Tavernier, who controls it with his head. Keeps it away from Neres. Goes inside to Diamande, who will beat Florentino to it. Using his body well there, Diamande, but then dispossessed by Neres. Forward to the Brazilian winger. Neres keeps it away from Goldson. There's Di Maria free on the right, and he plays it through to him. Benfica through. Di Maria on the right-hand side. Outside the boot, ball across towards the far post. It's just overhit there towards Marcus Leonardo, who will keep the ball alive. Goes back to Auschnes on the far side for Benfica. Should have and could have been so much more for the away side. As Di Maria was set away on the right flank, and he's going to strike it from afar, Di Maria, and he's asking a lot of his own capabilities there. We know how good Di Maria is, but from around 30 yards out in a central area, he's let fly and always rising over. I don't think that was ever on target from when that left his boot. Very high from the Argentine. And it's a Rangers goal kick. They go short with Suter. To the left back of Yilmaz in the defensive third. Goes forward to Lundstrom, who tries to use his body to get away from João Neves. But he can't trick the 19-year-old who sends it long. And it's a header away by Suter. Ahead of Rafa. And that'll be a Benfica throw-in on the near side. Midway side the Rangers half. Been colossal so far, Suter, in this first half. Thrown forward by Bar. Control on the edge of the box by Leonardo. Finds Neres on his left foot. He's going to shoot, but by Yilmaz as West Ham find themselves 2-0 up now. 2-1 up on aggregate against Freiburg. Auschnes clips it out to the right wing here to Di Maria. He's got Fabio Silva to get beyond. They're battling for it. And Fabio Silva can win the throw-in for his side. Just overran it there, Angel Di Maria. He hasn't had as much joy as he would have liked to have in this first half so far. So now Rangers on the ball, in their 18-yard box with John Suter, who joined on a free from Hearts, where he spent 6 years of his career. And here he is on the ball. Goes across to Diamande, who's just sat in between the two centre-backs at the moment. And he finds Galton. Down the line for Tavernier, about 20 yards inside the Benfica half. Goes to his left to Lundstrom in a central area. Finds Yilmaz, who's drifted inside from left back. And then goes out to the near side here to Fabio Silva, who's got time on the ball. Goes to the edge of the area here to Lawrence. Tries to shift it away from Florentino, but his touch is too heavy, which allows a big clearance away there by Neves. And Galton has to chase it down. He'll get there ahead of Leonardo. And goes back to Butland, who then goes forward to Diamande. And then across to his central midfield partner of Lundstrom. And it's Rangers on the ball. He's got less than 10 minutes to go. Lundstrom tried to pass it, but then I think opted to go for a different option. But the touch ended up being heavy. And he plays it through here, Neves, to Di Maria in the box. On his weaker right foot. Pulls it across. Someone needs to take advantage of this. It's on the far post. It's shot towards goal and it deflects behind for a corner. How Benfica haven't capitalised on that error. Lundstrom went to pass it, then decided he didn't want to pass it, but his foot was still going forward through the pass, so kicked it forward very lightly, straight through for Benfica, who got it through for Di Maria from Neves, and his ball across, who was just screaming for someone to get onto it. It went behind Lundstrom and Goldson, behind Suter and Goldson, but just no one there to finish it for Benfica. That is a glorious chance, and they've massively wasted it. Diamande gave it away early in the game, which led to an early Benfica chance. Lundstrom's just done the same thing. Can't be giving Benfica free opportunities. As Di Maria receives the ball back from the short corner, it deflects off Diamande. And that'll be another corner on the far side for Benfica. It just seems like they're lacking that real potency up front, Benfica, early on. Because as Di Maria entered the box on the right-hand side there, I know it's on his weaker right foot, but I'm surprised he didn't have a shot. Instead pulling it back or pulling it across, should I say, and just no one being there for Benfica. That is a real waste. Should have done better with it. Outswinger into the box. Antonio Silva flicks on, but it's away from goal. Recollected by Rafa on the Benfica right, who's got Dessers in front of him. Can't get beyond him, but he will win another corner. On the opposite side this time. Well won by Rafa, but good defending from the Rangers number 9 of Cyril Dessers. It'll be Di Maria to come across to the near side to take this. He's got 10 goals in 22 previously Europa League appearances. Angel Di Maria scoring 6 in 15 for Benfica. Back for his second stint at the club. Di Maria. In it goes to the far post. Header won by Tavernier. Deflects out to the left wing here for Rafa, who keeps it in for the away side. Goes across to the centre of the midfield to Neves. Touch gets away from him. And there's a chance on the break here for Rangers. Scott Wright beyond the halfway line. Can he keep it away from Neves? He can for the moment. Still with Wright. Goes to his right to Lawrence. Then across to the left for Dessers, who shoots. Big save. Dessers was offside. But nonetheless, that was a huge save from Trubin. Dessers should have buried that. Brilliant counter-attack. Neves, who's been so good over the two legs at the moment, just misplacing a touch. Wright was away. Played it to Lawrence, who had Dessers making the run through, and yeah, he's well offside. A yard or two. About 12 yards out towards the penalty spot. Still should have scored. Closed down the angle quickly, in fairness, the goalkeeper. Anatoly Trubin. But that's a big chance, but he was well offside, Dessers, so he would never have stood. So it's going to be a free kick in the 18-yard box here for Benfica. Taken by their goalkeeper, and he's gone long out to the left-hand side. Header won by Goldson to the halfway line to Fabio Silva, who sends it over the top for Dessers. Antonio Silva there to sweep up with a header. He has been brilliant tonight. As Barr goes forward to Rafa, his chested touch falls to Lundstrom, who brings it down the Rangers left in the Benfica half, tackle by the Benfica number 27, and that will be a throw-in for the home side. Yeah, we've had John Suter for Rangers and Antonio Silva for Benfica, who have been the two standout performers for me in the opening 40 minutes of this second leg. The draw for the Europa League quarter-finals does take place tomorrow, so whichever side goes through will find out their fate on Friday. As it's back in the Rangers half, just calming the play down here. It goes across to the number 6 of Connor Goldson, who's got plenty of time on the ball. Lundstrom across to Suter. Just Rangers knocking the ball around. Yilmaz tries to go down the line, cut out by Di Maria. Throwing for Rangers. It's absolutely pouring down as well. That throwing is towards no one in blue. Picked up by João Neves. 1-2 with Rafa. João Neves beyond the halfway line. He's got runners to his left mainly. Finds Auchnez. Tries to go forward. First time to Leonardo. He's going to chase that one down, but won't beat Goldson to it. On the edge of the 18-yard box. Cleared away for Rangers there. Almost for Benfica. It was a bad giveaway from Rangers with the throw-in. I don't know what Rivdan Yilmaz was trying to do. Instead of throwing it down the line, tried to go more central with the throw. But it allowed Benfica to get on the break as Neves lifts the ball forward for Benfica. It'll be held up by Leonardo, who drops to the ground, but is told to get up by the referee as he was having Goldson on his back. Rangers clear long. Dessers will chase it down the right flank. Otamendi gets there first, goes back to his goalkeeper, Trubin. To his right in the 18-yard box, Antonio Silva. Finds right back of Alexander Barr. Forward for Rafa. Flicks it away from Lundstrom to Di Maria. Then back into Barr. Touch gets away from him. And it's Suter to get it for Rangers. It's onto the halfway line to Lundstrom. And there is Suter once again for Rangers. He's been brilliant so far. Yilmaz inside to the right. Goes across. Can it find Scott Wright? He'll slide in. Get there ahead of Auchnez. But his slide challenge drops to a Benfica midfielder, and they work it to Di Maria on the right, on the halfway line, goes across to his left here to Rafa. Di Maria making a run down that right-hand side. Rafa takes too long, tackled very fairly by Lawrence from behind, poking the ball away from him, and Wright can't find Dessers to the far side. It's a short ball, picked up by Otamendi. 2.5 minutes away from the end of the first half, and it's Benfica to come forward. Neres in the final third, 1-on-1 with Tavernier, in the box, towards the byline, chops onto his right foot. Neres try to go back towards his left. Tackled though by Tavernier. Pulls him down. Free kick for Rangers in a right back position. Brilliant defending there by James Tavernier. Like I say, if he does play their next game at the weekend away at Dundee, it will be Tavernier's 450th Rangers appearance, which is a absolutely phenomenal, a fantastic achievement. I can never say that word. I need to work on that. But he's pouring. There is the Benfica head coach, Roger Smith, who is wet through in that waterproof coat. It's been pouring in Scotland today. It's Buckland's long ball from that free kick, headed away by Florentino for Benfica. It's now out towards the right-hand side here with Di Maria just before the Rangers half. He goes into the midfield here to Barr and then back to Neves, and it's Benfica on possession. And they go across to Otamendi here at left centre half. He's got time to bring it forward. Brings in Neres. Auchnez making a run in behind. Can't find him. Deflects off Tavernier into Goldson, who then goes back out to the right to Tavernier. Forward it goes in behind for Dessers, who's going to chase it down. It'll go through to the goalkeeper, Trubin, who clears the ball out of play for a throw-in. He's really working off scraps so far, Cyril Dessers. Putting in a lot of work. As it's Tavernier on the ball, receiving the ball back from the throw-in. Goes forward for Lundstrom. Overhit, but the clearance deflects off the head of Lundstrom. It's Diamande who crosses into the box. It's a volley from Barr. Straight back across to the Rangers right here for Tavernier. Diamande slips it through for Wright. It's just overhit. Cleared by Otamendi. Tavernier goes back into the centre circle here to Suter.
as we are edging towards the end of this first half, and we're all level still, 0-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Rangers have probably just edged this first half, but that does not mean Benfica haven't been dangerous in their own ways when they've got forward themselves. 1 minute added on. It's on the near side here on the halfway line with Suter. It's now with Lundstrom, who's the furthest back here for Rangers, alongside Goldson, who he plays the ball across to. And he'll go long, Goldson, in towards the 18-yard box, headed away by Antonio Silva to Florentino. Finds his midfield partner of Neves. Now it's out to the left back of Alshnez. Well dealt with there again by Antonio Silva. He's been so good so far. Benfica work it forward to Neres on halfway. Tackled by Tavernier. Volleyed by Otamendi. It's a ball over the top. Rafa chases it. Butland comes out and heads out of play for a Benfica throw-in. And Benfica want to take it quickly if they possibly can. Rafa throws it into Leonardo. Back to Rafa in the left wing position. Tackled by Tavernier. Loose ball drops to Alshnez, who gets onto his right foot, but then tackled by Tavernier. And the second tackle's good by Wright. Forward for Desses. Lays it off for Lawrence. It goes just behind him. And that will be that for the first half here at Ibrox. As the rain pours and the players get soaked through, we have been treated to a pretty entertaining first half here. Still goalless. 2-2 on aggregate, still all to play for. But both sides settled into the game very quickly. And they've given us an even first half on the whole. Both sides will be rather pleased with what they've been able to do getting forward. But both sides have just lacked that real final edge in the final third to get that goal. Rangers have just had the majority of the possession, 56% of it. But the main story of the game is told through the stats. Rangers have had 5 shots. Benfica have had 8. But both sides have only been able to work the 1 shot on target. That's all we're missing. The shots on goal that can work the goalkeepers. But at the moment here, at our half-time, at Ibrox, it is currently Rangers 0, Benfica 0. 2-2 on aggregate. Rangers did come close early on in the first half. There was a shot on goal by Lawrence as he was played through by Fabio Silva. And it went through the goalkeeper. And as it went through the goalkeeper's arms, he was just able to move his leg behind him to kick the ball away. It was almost a disastrous error from the goalkeeper. That was early on in the game, around 10 or 15 minutes in. Benfica have also had their chances. A ball across from Rafa and from Di Maria were left unfinished both times down that Benfica right. Yeah, 2 balls across and none of them ending even in a shot, I don't think, which shows you that Benfica just missing that number 9 to do the business for them. That was the issue with Benfica in the first leg. They started with Arthur Cabral up front, who's on the bench tonight. He just lacked involvement in the game, and it's the same again now for Marcus Leonardo, the striker, who's just slightly isolated in the game. But still, 0-0. As the tension will start to build in the ground as it remains level. They have been to extra time before, Rangers, in this competition. It's nothing new to them. I remember them getting beyond Braga in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. When they got to the final, that took extra time. I don't believe the Leipzig semi-final went to extra time. I think Lundstrom scored just before it could go to extra time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Lundstrom scored in the 80th minute. So they can do both, Rangers. They can go all the way to extra time. They can do it in the 90. But there is a possibility of penalties as well in this opening last 16 tie. This is definitely a game that can go both ways.
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes Rangers way or Benfica. They both created opportunities. It's just finishing them that has avoided both sides, unfortunately, that finishing touch. But like I say, in the previous 3 games between these two sides, both teams have scored a minimum of 2 goals at least in each game. We've had 2-2 draws, and we had the 1-3 draw at the Estadio de Luz in Benfica back in 2020. So we are usually treated with goals in this fixture, but at the minute we're just lacking them. But it does leave for a very exciting and nervy second half. But if we just look as well at the other ties that have kicked off early, we did see that West Ham had already turned around their deficit. They were 1-0 down to Freiburg, but they've turned that game around and they're 2-0 up on the night, West Ham. 2-1 on aggregate, goals from Paqueta and Bowen. So West Ham again having a good run in Europe, it seems. Slavia Prague are 3-0 down at half-time to AC Milan. Again, another red card for Slavia Prague. So AC Milan 7-2 up now on aggregate after winning the first leg 4-2. And the other last 16 game is Villarreal against Marseille. Villarreal are 4-0 down on aggregate, but they've got it to 4-1. They are 1-0 up on the night. Etienne Capoue, former Watford midfielder. So could we see a comeback of all comebacks there from Villarreal? It's going to be a tasty quarter-final, whoever goes through, isn't it? We could have a last 8 in the Europa League. We could have AC Milan, Rangers or Benfica, Marseille, West Ham, Atalanta or Sporting, Roma, Leverkusen, Liverpool. The quarterfinals of the Europa League are going to be tasty, whoever go through. There are going to be some good quarterfinals in this competition. And it's only over the last couple of seasons where I've really took a interest in the Europa League, and it's a fantastic competition. It's got brilliant teams in it, and they do produce some brilliant games and ties in general. It's never usually just one game that stands out in the Europa League. Usually both legs are ones to watch. But the second half will be getting underway shortly, as this early kick-off did seem to annoy Rangers supporters, and they've got every right to be annoyed. It's an absolutely stupid kick-off time, 5:45. Many people will finish work at 5 mainly. It leaves them 45 minutes to get to the game and get to kick-off. Obviously, Rangers fans will do whatever they need to get to get there for the game, even if that is taking the day off. But it doesn't seem like it's affected the atmosphere or anything, which has been good to see. But didn't quite hit the same. An 8 o'clock kick-off at Ibrox on a Thursday night under the lights, but the lights are now on well and truly. It's started to go dark now at Glasgow as we're edging towards 7 o'clock, 20-7 at the moment, UK time. Morning from New Zealand. Wow, that's a far away. What are your thoughts on the new competition format for next season? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's one of them where you have to just see how it plays out and make a judgment there. I mean, on paper, you can understand why they're doing it, making it a big league, making the big teams play each other more often. So I understand the thinking behind it. It just seems very heavy. 36 teams, I think it is, isn't it? But like I say, I think it's just one of them. You just got to see how it plays out, and just see. It's definitely shut down the. Yeah, it's just the Super League. That's what it is. It's just the Super League within a UEFA competition. That's what they're trying to do with it, for sure. But from experience for me, it comes into effect on Football Manager, which I play quite a lot, and it comes into play after next season. So on Football Manager, it is. I quite liked it because you're just playing big teams more often than not. Like, you're playing 3 or 4 teams in the group stage of calibre, and it just makes it more exciting. So I think it could work for sure, definitely. I think the only thing that people were against in terms of the Super League was the fact that they were trying to make it a completely separate league to move the big clubs out of their own divisions, which is wrong. But I don't think anyone was actually against the fact of getting the big teams to play each other more often in a big league table. I don't think anyone was against that. I wasn't anyway. I think it's quite exciting. I just think there's a way of doing it, and I think if it goes well, then they'll continue. If it doesn't, then I don't know if they can revert back, but they can always try. Love your stuff, nice jerseys at the back. I know they've been there for a few weeks now. I do need to change them. That was my whole thinking behind it. I was like, I can change them up every few weeks, but embarrassingly enough, I'm just a bit lazy at the moment and can't be bothered getting kits from upstairs. But some nice numbers there, isn't there? Got Juventus there. That Leipzig one's one of my favourites I've got. And then Barcelona, Ajax, and then you got your Mali to the right of that down there. But yeah, there's some nice ones down there. What's the Red Bull team? Yeah, RB Leipzig, that one. It's an absolute beauty, if I say so myself. It's one of my favourites I've got. I think it's from the 21-22 season, I want to say. Let me have a look. I'll find that out. Yeah, it's one of my favourites I've got. I had to get it on display. It's just a thing of beauty, isn't it? When is it from? That's a great question. I don't know what the season was. It might have been the 2020-2021 season. It was the 2020-2021 season. That's when it came out. The third shirt. It's just unbelievable. It is just, for me, an absolute thing of beauty. Obviously, people might not like it, and people have different tastes. That's fine, but for me, as soon as I saw it, it was just an instant. I have to get that. So yeah, if you are leaving at half time, which I understand because it's just a matter of waiting for the second half. If you do leave, just come back for the second half because we've got a big half coming up for Rangers. The team we're probably rooting for, let's be honest. As a someone from England, it's nice to see Rangers doing well. Speaking of jerseys, did you see a whole? Yes, I did. The one that impressed me the most, the Belgian one, I like that. I think the light blue one, but that Germany one, I think it was. Oh my word, it was absolutely. I can't even begin to describe. I absolutely love that Germany one. I think it was. That came out today. I think it's the home one. The Germany home one, I really like the look of. I like the Germany one for the World Cup as well, actually. But yeah, they brought out a new one today, the home one. And it just gives me that retro vibes. I like the shoulders where it's got the yellowy red colours on it as well. So yeah, there's going to be some brilliant kits out for the Euros, and seeing the first batch of them is nice to see. But that Germany one definitely sparked my interest when I woke up this morning. But yeah, second half we're getting on the way, a couple of minutes now as we're reaching 6:45. Which side will really take the game to their opposition? Rangers were starting to do it at the end of that first half. They were really starting to dominate the possession, and again, just lacking those real big chances, not creating enough from the possession, but at least they were, taking the game to Benfica, not giving Benfica too much respect, because I think that's the thing with Rangers. Obviously, they are a huge team in Europe. That I'm not saying they're not, but obviously the last 10 years or so, with everything they went through in terms of having to start again from the bottom divisions, they were obviously away from European football for a while. So the fact that they're starting to reinstate themselves in European competition, despite not having a great Champions League campaign, Rangers have got to understand that they're probably seen as a team from others that they wouldn't mind drawing against. So it's kind of getting the balance of giving these teams like Benfica respect, but then obviously not giving them too much respect, where you allow them to play you off the park. And at the minute, they're getting that balance exactly right. Rangers. But yeah, West Ham lead as well. Won the Conference League last season, West Ham. Imagine a West Ham Rangers quarter-final. That would be one to watch for sure. The Nike England one. Yeah, why can I never read? There's a heart in the way. If you comment, I do apologise. Is pretty cool too. Yeah, honestly, I feel like with international kits, like, because obviously usually they come out every 2 years or whatever. It's hard to get them wrong. You've got a lot of time to prep. Like, if you get an international kit wrong, then you need to look maybe elsewhere. To have 2 years to design one and put one out, you've got to get it right. And yeah, I really like the England one a few years ago. The one with the badge in the middle. That was a bit of me. That I love. A centralised badge is the one for me. I say that, and none of the ones behind me have a centralised badge, but I do have a few with a central badge, and they're the nicest ones for me. Let's go with the Prem and Scottish teams. Got to boost that coefficient. Yeah, of course, exactly. It's a great point. With the new system for the Europa League and the Champions League next season, with the just massive league table, depending on the results and the performances from the British sides, this season adds all together, and it can give the Premier League an extra Champions League position. So we're going to get a half-time change here from Benfica, and I think this is the biggest compliment that we can give to the Rangers' defence at the moment. The first leg, Benfica started with Arthur Cabral, got absolutely no joy. They've now started the second leg with Marcus Leonardo, absolutely no joy. And at half-time, they've replaced Marcus Leonardo, and they're going to try their third striker up there in this tie, and they've brought on Kasper Tengstedt, the 23-year-old Danish striker. Not scored in Europe yet this season, but he is 6 foot, and he's got the 3 goals in the league, and he is going to be the next striker to play in this tie for Benfica as they look to try and get a striker on the ball and chances, really, to get this away team ahead in the game. As we're back underway here, and Tavernier clears long for Rangers. It's headed backwards by Alexander Barr, straight back to the goalkeeper of Anatoly Trubin. And we are back underway here at Ibrox for the second half, as it's Trubin, the goalkeeper, lifted past to him. He has to volley away, and out for a throw-in in the final third here for Rangers on the far side. The pass back from Antonio Silva was a challenging one, to say the least. He's done quite well just to boot that one away, taking absolutely no chances with that one. As Yilmaz receives the ball from Lawrence, Neves comes across and tackles him fairly, and Benfica come away with it only momentarily as Yilmaz wins it back through for Lawrence in the left wing towards the corner flag, back through for Yilmaz, goes inside off the thigh of Diamande. Fabio Silva will chase it, just too much on it, can't keep it in. Goal kick for Benfica. Bit of a shaky start there for Benfica, some difficult passes there that they had to try and pull off. As the goal kick goes long from Trubin over the head of Goldson, and the skid off the turf with the rain sends the ball right through to the goalkeeper of Jack Butland, who rolls it out to the edge of the box just to the left side here to Suter. Goes to the right here to Goldson. Drives forward with the ball, clips it high up towards Dessers, tries to send it out to the left towards Fabio Silva. Barr gets there first, but his pass gets beyond Neves. Lundstrom through for Yilmaz, tackled strongly by Barr. Neves with it. Can't get away from Yilmaz in the centre of the midfield. And Wright can bring it forward for Rangers beyond 2 challenges. Scott Wright on the edge of the box, plays it through. Dessers chops onto his right foot, and the shot goes wide through a deflection. It's a brilliant performance so far from Scott Wright. As many eyebrows were raised as his name was put on the team sheet. Slotted it through to the right side of the box to Dessers, who faked the first shot to send Otamendi flying. And as he eventually did take on the strike, It was blocked by Auschnes and just sent wide of that far post. So close for Cyril Dessers, who's not had many opportunities tonight. Starved of real service, but that was a huge chance for him. Corner goes in, outswinger towards Suter. Header won there for Benfica and then sent forward by Lundstrom with the strike. Always going wide of the post. And Trubin wants a quick goal kick here for Benfica. Up it goes, chested down by Lundstrom, volleyed away by Diamande. Up towards Fabio Silva, who loses out there to Florentino. And it's Benfica back on the ball to this near side to Neres. Charging away, he's got Rafa to his left, finds him in the final third here. Rafa onto his right foot, running across the 18-yard box. Tries to release the ball, just has to go backwards here to Florentino. Who keeps the ball here in the middle of the pitch for Benfica. Works it out to the far side here to Alexander Bar. Forward into the box here to Tengstedt. Outside the box now as he's being followed by Suter towards the corner flag. That's to play the pass back here to Florentino. Inside to Di Maria. It's now back to the far side to Bar. Not many players in the area to cross at. So he has to go back to Di Maria. He's got Yilmaz in front of him. Now with Florentino midway side the Rangers half on the far side. Di Maria forward for Bar. Goes towards the byline here to Rafa. Returns it to Bar. His touch is too heavy. Straight through for Butland. Almost got through there, Benfica. Just no one to aim for, though, when they're having opportunities for a cross. It's Scott Wright. Tackled there by João Neves and by Auschnes. And Benfica win the ball on the halfway line. Forward here to Neres. Goes to his right to Rafa. Back through towards Neres. It's a heavy pass. It'll be Tavernier to get there first. Goes back to Butland, the goalkeeper. He has time in his 6-yard box here. Onto his left foot. Plenty of time here for Butland. He will clear the ball forward. Down the Rangers left. Up early there, Fabio Silva, and flicks it on for Dessers. Brilliant work there from Fabio Silva. Ball goes back to Diamande. And again, the attack just slows down here for Rangers. As Benfica can get their bodies back here. It's on the far side with Yilmaz. Back to Lundstrom. All Benfica players currently behind the ball. As Benfica just had that last couple of minutes with the ball. Couldn't create anything to challenge that Butland in the Rangers goal. Butland in the 18-yard box with the ball. Goes out to the left here to Lundstrom. Who will bring the ball forward as the rain still drops down on the Ibrox field of play. Absolutely non-stop, the rain. It's on this near side here with Tavernier. Bringing it forward into the final third. Time for a cross. So much time to bring the ball in. And the ball deflects just wide of that post. Dess is asking for a penalty, saying he's had his shirt pulled there. Tavernier just giving so much time to cross it. That is criminal-like stuff there from Benfica. And Antonio Silva didn't know much about it. It just deflected off him, and thankfully for him, it just went behind that post for a corner and not an own goal. So no penalty given for Dessers, as it was slight contact on him, not enough really for a penalty as he was pulled down. Tavernier, outswinger, in it goes, dangerous area, and it's the header won by Antonio Silva again. Straight back to Tavernier, second by Atati, in it goes, far post, header into the near post, and it's hit the side netting there by John Suter. And it's a goal kick here for Benfica. There was claims that the ball had swung out of play and back in, but if it's gone out or not, it's ended up in a goal kick for Benfica either way. That's Trubin, the goalkeeper, clips it forward. It's a bit of a lower ball, controlled by Tengstedt, and he keeps it away from Goldson, but runs out of pitch on the far side, and it's a Rangers throw-in to Goldson. Gets it through the legs of a pressing Di Maria, and back to the goalkeeper of Butland, who goes into the left back area of Goldson. Now Yilmaz, inside to the right to Lundstrom, back out to the left to Yilmaz, onto the halfway line to Diamande, finds him in the centre circle with a bit of time, tries to shift it on quickly to Lawrence, who can move it away from Neres, but he's clipped there, Lawrence, as he shifted the ball on, so it's a free kick on halfway for Rangers, taken quickly and out to this near side. Tavernier through the gap for right, Otamendi's coming across to cover, who will get there first, they both slide in, and the last touch off right And that'll be a Benfica goal kick. Just put the ball into the space there, James Tavernier. And both Otamendi and Wright were running at it, and they both almost slid synchronised at the same time. And the last touch came off Wright. As Benfica cleared down the right-hand side. Played forward by Suter. And out of play. For a goal kick. Let's have a look here as the Tavernier cross went in. Not enough for me. They were both grappling each other there, Dessers and Silva, as that Tavernier ball went in, but Silva was very fortunate that when it bounced off his leg, that just went wide of the post. Could have definitely gone into the back of the net, that, as Trubin clears it towards the Benfica left this time. Neves loses out to Tavernier. It's now Diamande to the right here to Scott Wright, driving inside, playing it through. Here for Dessers, lays it off for Diamande, he shoots with the left foot, and that's an easy catch in the end for Trubin. Shot or a cross, maybe a bit of both that from Diamande. If it was a shot, it wasn't very well hit. Pretty soft with his weaker left foot. Rangers win a throw about 10 yards inside the Benfica half. On this near side, it's Tavernier with it. As it is 3-0 now to West Ham against Freiburg. So it looks like West Ham have well and truly booked their spot into the last 8 of the Europa League. And here we still have everything to play for at Ibrox. It's Goldson on the ball, just inside his own half. Here's Tavernier. Surrounded by red shirts, but he can turn and play it forward towards Dessers. Cut out by Otamendi. His clearance finds Rafa, and he gets away from Goldson. Rafa running through here towards the 18-yard box. He's been pulled by Goldson, and that'll be given as a free kick. Goldson booked. Rafa just got there and made his way in front of Goldson. Yeah, pull of the shirt. Tried to grapple. 2 hands on him there, Goldson. I think at that point, once he's got beyond you, you've just got to let him go. The free kick has been pulled back some way from when Rafa actually lost possession of the ball. The free kick will be from around. Need another look at this. Is the left back for Benfica, Frederick Auchinez, is currently having a swap of boots. 10 minutes into this second half here at Ibrox. We're still level. Can't tell you how far out it is at the moment because I've not got the picture for it. Around 30 yards out or so. Maybe 35 yards. It's a 2-man Rangers wall. It's probably going to be a cross from either the right foot of João Neves or the left foot of Angel Di Maria. It'll be Di Maria to curl the ball into the far post here. It's gone beyond Fabio Silva, who has a grab at the shirt. Tengstedt crosses it for Benfica, headed away by Yilmaz. All as far as João Neves, who drills it forward. Blocked by Goldson. Drops here for Scott Wright, who's tripped by Rafa. And there's an offside flag anyway. Man, it's a free kick for Rangers in their 18-yard box. Maybe as the Di Maria cross was put in. That is when the offside flag was seen. So it's Rangers to build up from the back, from the far side with John Suter. Forward into Diamande, back into Lundstrom. It's now on this near side with Tavernier on the halfway line. Down the line it goes here for Lawrence. Skips it over the head of Otamendi. That's brilliant bit of skill, but on the recovery, João Neves on the cover. Helps his captain and wins the ball back off Lawrence. And Auchinez scoops it forward for Benfica. Can't find the striker of Kasper Tengstedt. And that'll be a Rangers ball in their 18-yard box of Butland. Goes to the right centre-back here of Goldson. Now back into the 18-yard box here with Butland. But interestingly enough, Benfica won their first game away in European competition in Scotland all the way back in September 1960 against Hearts in the European Cup. But Benfica are winless in their last 5 in Scotland, drawing 2 and losing 3. So they haven't had much luck here. in Scotland previously since 1960. As Rangers have it on the near side, Lundstrom goes into Diamande. It's now on the halfway line with Goldson. All Benfica players currently behind the ball. Suter out to the far side here to Fabio Silva, midway side the Benfica half, striding forward with the ball. Fabio Silva beyond two Benfica players, tries to cut back, it deflects off one Benfica player, then back off to Fabio Silva. And it's a goal kick for the away side. Good running from Fabio Silva, who received it on that left wing, got away from Di Maria and Florentino. And as he kicked it off Alexander Barr, it came back off Fabio Silva. And a goal kick for Benfica. Still over half an hour to play here. It's 0-0 on the night. But we haven't had a lack of chances, that's for sure. So Trubin with the goal kick. Sends it long for Benfica out to the left-hand side. Header won by Neres. Into the air it goes, where it's headed out to the right by Tavernier. Right ball forward. Comes off Neres. Throwing just inside the Rangers half here for the home team. They have already lost 3 times at home this season. Rangers to Motherwell, Aberdeen and Celtic. So quite a lot of losses. More than usual for Rangers, who didn't lose a single game at home last season in the league. As it's Otamendi to tackle Lawrence on the edge of the box, and Neres can set away on the left-hand side. In behind towards Tengsted, it's a brilliant slide challenge from Goldson to intercept that pass, as it looks like Kasper Tengsted was going to be in behind there if he timed his run. But Rangers come forward down the left-hand side. Yilmaz in the final third, given loads of time to pick out a cross straight at the legs of Florentino, and it deflects out for a Rangers throw-in hit on the far side. Diamande puts the ball in, and that is awful quality. Straight out of play for a goal kick. Not even aimed towards the far post. That was just aimed out of play. Really poor for Mohamed Diamande, as we only had one substitute so far in this game, and that was at half-time. Benfica swapping their striker. It's with their right-back, Alexander Barr. They go long, up towards Tengsted. It goes beyond him, and it's hooked away by Goldson, away from Di Maria. And Lundstrom turns Rafa. That's brilliant from Lundstrom on the halfway line. Plays it forward and out towards the right-hand side here to Lawrence. It's now here with Scott Wright. One-on-one with Auschnes. Goes across to the edge of the area to Lawrence. His touch gets away from him. Kicked away by Florentino. And Neres can go. And Benfica on the counter. Through for Di Maria. Has he timed his run right? We won't know for now. Di Maria onto his left foot. First shot blocked. Di Maria with the second shot. Deflects through into the area. And cleared away by Tavernier. And the flag has remained down. And the clearance only goes as far as Barr for Benfica, who crosses, and it's an awful cross. Similar quality level to the Diamande cross, and it's out for a Rangers goal kick. Chance that for Di Maria. He got into a position we know he likes on that right wing, being able to cut onto his left foot. But his 2 strikes are pretty timid. And Rangers dealt with it in the end. Less than half an hour to go now. Tavernier, ball down the middle. And eventually goes through to the left. It just went beyond Florentino, who tried to intercept. It's now into a central area with Lawrence. Through the gap, looking for a runner. But no runner was there to be seen. And Otamendi can clear for Benfica out of play. Not a great clearance from the Argentine World Cup winner. And Rangers have the ball back with a throw-in. Just kept in by Tavernier. And then into their own half they go with the pass back to Goldson. But Benfica have only won one of their 5 games away from home in Europe this season. It was their final group game away at RB Salzburg. They lost to Inter Milan, lost to Sociedad, and they drew to Toulouse in the second leg of their playoff round in this Europa League campaign. But Rangers are looking to qualify from back-to-back last 16 ties. They beat Red Star in the campaign where they reached the final. Yilmaz in the final third. He's been found beautifully. Tries to take on Bart, who can kick it off Yilmaz, I believe, and that's going to be a goal kick. I think. Or is it a corner? I think Yilmaz avoided getting the last touch, so it's a corner kick here Taken short to Diamande, who can't find a teammate at Lundstrom. Taken away from him from Di Maria, who is bursting forward beyond the halfway line. Down the Benfica right. Diamande's following him all the way. He turns away from the Ivorian, shrugs him off, and Di Maria releases it. That is brilliant running. Neres, 22 yards out, bringing it forward, playing it off. Auschnes, cut back, shot towards goal. And it's straight at Butland. Tengstedt with the shot. That is rubbish. Nothing else but rubbish from Tengstedt. They haven't had many opportunities like that in the game, Benfica, where they've worked a shot on goal in the 18-yard box, but to hit it so flatly straight at Butland needs to do better than that, Kasper Tengstedt. And Rangers survive a scare there. That run from Di Maria was unbelievable. He had a young, fit 22-year-old, Mohamed Diamande following him every way. But Di Maria was able to shrug him off and use his pace that he's still got some of, despite being 36. The former Real Madrid winger. His range on the ball, centre circle. Goldson with it. Goes across to his left to Suter. He will lift it out to the left. It's a curling ball. It's a brilliant one as well, but can't be controlled by Yilmaz. Unfortunate there from Suter. As we're going to get another change here, it's going to be Benfica again. I think they're going to bring on their number 10 of Orkun Kukcu, the Turkish midfielder they brought in for 30 million euros from Feyenoord. It's only started one game in the Europa League so far, since they dropped into this competition, and that was in the first leg against Toulouse. He was an unused sub in the first leg against Rangers, so Orkun Kukcu comes on for number 7, David Neres, as we regain the play here, with Scott Wright finding Dessers. Can't find the layoff to Lawrence on the edge of the box, cleared by Barr for Benfica. Up towards Lundstrom, who keeps it away from Rafa, but only plays it through for Tengstedt, who's ball through for Di Maria. Is cut out on the halfway line by Yilmaz. Fabio Silva turns Alexander Barr. And away from Neves, and then brought down by Barr, but play continues as Rangers still have it. Lawrence, ball through, deflects off Florentino, and out to the Rangers right here to Tavernier, who will let the ball stay in play. Just about got there on the near side. Just feel like a moment of magic could occur from Fabio Silva on that left wing. Didn't quite work for him that time, but you feel like if you can get him in an isolated position with Alexander Barr, he might fancy his chances. 25 minutes to go, still 0-0, not sure how. Both teams have definitely showed glimpses, but nothing too concrete in terms of chances. As Lundstrom finds Tavernier, kicks it off Auschnes, and that'll be a corner for Rangers. Good ball from Lundstrom. And Tavernier getting that home crowd going. As any goal now scored could really dictate who goes through into the last 8 of the Europa League. Next 2 commentaries as well, you can see coming across the screen. I'll describe them to you more in more detail in a moment. As Tavernier has both arms up, as he puts a right-footed corner in. It's a deeper one towards Goldson. Heads it across. It drops in the area. Lundstrom, turns, can't shoot. Tackled by Otamendi, cleared by Florentino. Up toward Di Maria. Heads it forward for Rafa. I think he might be offside, but Rafa is through at the moment. Into the area, on the counter-attack. Rafa shoots and puts it into the bottom left corner, and the flag goes up. I think he was just offside. Cleared away eventually by Florentino. It went through for Di Maria on the halfway line. And Rafa, that's close. If Rafa has just found himself in the Rangers half, he's offside. Because there was no Rangers player in their own half. As I think Di Maria has stayed down here as he won that header. I think he collided with a Rangers player. So the goal is being checked for the offside. Like I say, there's no Rangers players inside their own half to play him onside. So if Rafa's been able to stay in his own half, he's onside. And with a quarter of the game to go, this could be a huge goal here. On the counter-attack from a Rangers set piece. I don't know. That's close. The angles they've got isn't great. But Rafa Had Diomande try to pull him down from behind, but he was able to stay in front of Diomande. Come across into the box from the left-hand side and shoot into the bottom left corner. Beyond Butland. For Rafa, this would be his 18th goal of the season in all competitions. It'd be his first in the Europa League. He scored 2 in the Champions League group stages. He's having the season of his life for goals at the moment. This would be his 90th Benfica goal here for Rafa, who's been at the club since 2016. And they're checking it. This is a lengthy check. It would be such a frustrating way to concede for Rangers on the counter-attack from their own corner. VAR is Christian Dinger, German official. And his assistant on VAR is a Slovakian of Michael Oshinaz. Here's a better angle. So as Di Maria heads that ball, oh, his knee is on the line of the halfway line. So does that mean his goal's been given? The goal stands. Benfica take a lead at Ibrox on the counter-attack. It was cleared forward to the halfway line. A brave header from Di Maria, played through Rafa, who kept himself in front of Diomande. And as he entered the box, he was one-on-one with Butland. And he stroked it into the bottom left corner. And that is a huge goal for Benfica, who lead this last 16 tie. And Rafa scores his second goal against Rangers. He scored against them in 2020 at home. This time he scored against them away at Ibrox. It's a brilliant assist from Di Maria to put himself onto that header. And it's 1-0 on the night. It's 3-2 on aggregate. Rafa onside. His knee was on line with the halfway line, which I presume means he's onside and in his own half. Rangers now need a goal to at least force extra time as a minimum, as I've already lost it. Rafa bringing it away from the right-hand side. Forward for Tengstedt, who holds the ball up here and finds João Neves. It's the far side here to Florentino. Forward for Neves. It gets away from Yilmaz. Neves still has it. To his left for Di Maria. Lays it off for Neves again, who pokes it out to the near side here to Auschnes. He's got Kokchu to his left. He finds him. He puts a cross in. Header won by Goldson. Flicked on by Wright. All as far as Florentino. And Benfica have now got the confidence in the tie. With 20 minutes to play. Auschnes down the line for Kokchu. Keeps it away from Lundstrom and goes back to Florentino. He finds Antonio Silva on the halfway line. Chests it forward. Keeps it away from Dessers. And been forced back here to Otamendi. Now Auschnes on the halfway line. Forward with his right foot. Controlled by Tengstedt. Loses out though to Goldson. And Rangers win the ball back. In the 2020-2021 campaign, that's when Rangers was last knocked out of the last 16 of the Europa League to Slavia Prague that time. As Fabio Silva can't make the ball stick up front on the left, but he wins it back. Tengstedt with a poor touch, but then he loses it to Florentino. But the loose ball drops to Diomande. And it's Rangers back in possession, midway inside their own half with Lundstrom. Curling out to the right-hand side here to Tavernier. Forward to right on halfway. Bursts away from Auschnes. And it's now back with Goldson, just inside the Rangers half here. Lundstrom goes to the right to Goldson. Pass goes beyond the halfway line and finds Tavernier. He's got Auschnes on his back. Plays it to the left centre half of Suter, who'll bring the ball forward. In the Benfica half. Looking for the next pass. Has to go back to Lundstrom. It's very suffocated in the Benfica half. Not many spaces for Rangers to work with. Fabio Silva. Tackled by Di Maria. Cleared by Barr. Down that Benfica right. Cut out by the head of Suter. Controlled by Diomande away from Di Maria. That's brilliant. And a ball forward to Dessers. Lays it off for Lawrence, who can strike it from afar. Big block from Otamendi. Ball drops here for Scott Wright. Diomande takes over himself. Fabio Silva feeds the overlapper Yilmaz. Heavy touch. Just too heavy, the second one. Out of play for a goal kick. The first touch was heavy on its own, but the second one was even more heavy, and he couldn't quite get on the end of it. And it's a goal kick for Benfica, who have now got something to protect. Yeah, as Di Maria won the header, he was just inside his own half, Rafa. which played him onside. And he slotted it home brilliantly. Butland came out, made himself as big as possible, but still not enough to stop the shot going in the back of the net. As we're now going to get the Rangers changes. I think we're going to get two of them. Scott Wright off for Rabbi Matondo. And Tom Lawrence, who just hasn't quite got in the game as much as he was in the first leg. And he'll be replaced by number 13 of Todd Cantwell, who's missed the last two Europa League games with injury. He's back on tonight. Headed forward by João Neves for Benfica. Controlled on his own for Goldson. Switches out to the right, head towards Matondo, who keeps it in play. On the near side, he's let it go out of play. That is really bad from the Welsh winger. And that'll be a throw-in for Benfica. He kept it in the first time, but then his first touch out of his feet went out of play. Throwing down the line for Benfica up towards the halfway line. Headed away by Goldson. It has to be thumped away by Auchnez. Can't be controlled by Di Maria. Picked up by Cantwell. Yilmaz now has it in the centre circle. Bringing it out towards the Rangers' left. He's got Cantwell to his right and Fabio Silva to his left. He finds Fabio Silva. Across to Cantwell. He's going to put it into the area towards Dessers. Header won by Otamendi. Goes through to Di Maria, who is tackled really well there by Lundstrom. He goes back to Suter. And Rangers on the ball again. It's now with Goldson. Rangers will not lose belief yet. They will not lose hope. They've only lost twice in their previous 31 games under their new head coach of Philippe Clement, as Cantwell's brought down by Florentino, not seen as a foul. Rafa quickly out to the right to Di Maria, who touches in front of him. He's now running at Suter. Di Maria into the final third, plays it into the box for Rafa, who's got Goldson next to him. Rafa keeps it away from him for now. He goes back to Di Maria on the edge of the box. Rangers have got plenty of bodies back now. There's Di Maria on the edge of the area. He's been given time to let fly if he wants to. Halts that shot and instead passes to Rafa. And then Barr back to Florentino, and the counter-attack just dies down for Benfica as they settle on the ball. On the halfway line with Antonio Silva, hurried into a clearance as he's closed down by Dessers. Yilmaz, that's a 50p header, that. Nowhere near a blue shirt. It's now with Benfica centrally. It's Di Maria, 25 yards out, working his way towards the Benfica right. He's been tackled by Diamande, though, taking off his toes. Diamande sends the ball away, down the Rangers' left. Dessers will chase it. Antonio Silva gets there first. And with 15 minutes to play here, it's Rangers 0, Benfica 1. The Portuguese champions lead on the night and on aggregate. Otamendi forward to Kukçu. He's got Lundstrom closing him down, pull of the shirt, free kick for Benfica. Quickly played forward to the halfway line to Rafa, who is the difference maker at the moment. Auchnez drives inside from the left-back position into an attacking midfield position and playing out to his right here to Di Maria. Slows down on the ball, finds Kukçu. Driving towards the corner flag on the right-hand side here. Kukçu still has it, crosses it off Yilmaz and wins the corner. Well won there by the Benfica substitute of Orkun Kukçu. Looks like Rangers are going to make another change, and this man is a game changer. He's a difference maker. They're going to bring on number 25, Kemar Roof, who has suffered injury from December to February from this season, but he's back. And they need him to score more than ever. This will be his 98th appearance, Kemar Roof, for the club. He's not going to come on yet as Rangers defend this corner. Di Maria crosses, near post, header won by Suter. Only as far as João Neves, he tries to head it back out towards Di Maria on the right-hand side. Out of play, it goes for a Rangers throw-in in the left-back position. They need to get it moving quickly if they can. But instead they're going to halt the play and bring on Kemar Roof, who's going to replace Cyril Dessers, who just hasn't been able to make it work up front for Rangers tonight. He has been working on scraps, but when he has been given the ball, he's not quite been on it. So Rangers need a late goal. Cleared away by Antonio Silva. And it goes through into the Rangers half it. And it'll be collected by Jack Butland. But interestingly enough, when these two sides met in that group stage of the Europa League in the 2020-2021 season, Benfica actually finished second and it was Rangers to finish first. As Matondo's heavy touch is given away, Otamendi clips it up to the halfway line, controlled by Tengstedt, and kept away from Diamande. Florentino into Neves in the centre circle, to the right to Bar. And if anyone looks like scoring a second, it looks like Benfica at the moment. As they calm this possession down, back into the Rangers, into the Benfica half here of Antonio Silva. Back to the goalkeeper Trubin as he was being closed down there by Cantwell. Cleared forward by the goalkeeper, down the Benfica right. Free touch there for Yilmaz as he was unopposed as the ball was in the air. He's now back with the home side. It's Goldson on it. Assessing the options, going to his left here to Lundstrom, just before the halfway line. Back across here to Goldson. Out to the right to Tavernier. Trying to go over the top of Auschen as the left back, headed forward by the Norwegian. Away from Matondo. Florentino forward to Kukcu. To Neves. Away from Goldson. Finds Tengstedt, who goes to the left here to Rafa. He's going to switch it out towards Di Maria. Cut out by the head of Yilmaz. Nods it into Lundstrom. Fakes it away from Kukcu. And then Lundstrom fires it out to the left looking for Roof. It's nowhere near him. And straight through for the goalkeeper of Anatoly Trubin. It's just not quite been good enough. Their attacking play the second half for Rangers. It's let them down massively so far. And it's now with Otamendi on the edge of the 18-yard box. Forward to the near side here to Auschnes. Inside to Tengstedt. Lays it off for Kukcu. Ball over the top. It's going to be another tight offside call as Auschnes is away on the left. Across it goes towards Di Maria, who strikes it first time. And the flag goes up. It's quite wide and quite high in the end by Di Maria, but the flag has gone up anyway. As Rangers are back underway, beyond the halfway line with Yilmaz on the far side, forward to Diamande. Yilmaz is overlapping, but Diamande is forced to run around Rafa and keep the ball. There's just no options in front for him. Bit frustrated there, the man brought in from Norgeland in January. Goldson on halfway, out to the right here to Matondo. He's got bags of pace as he runs at Auschnes, goes on the outside here. Matondo crosses and it's completely miscued. Balloons out of play for a goal kick. 10 minutes to go. And if we're going to be honest, it doesn't look like Rangers are going to find a goal here. It's going to be the goalkeeper Trubin. He's going to send this goal kick long. As West Ham are 4-0 up now. Kudus with the fourth. As the goal kick goes straight through for Butland in the 18-yard box. No one to meet it for Benfica. Just gives the possession straight back to the home team. Goldson to the right back, Tavernier. Brings it forward, driving inside to his left. Been forced to go back. There's just no passes on for Rangers going forward. It's quite worrying, really. Cantwell finds Tavernier in more of a midfield position. Out to the right to Matondo. Back to Cantwell on halfway. First time ball forward. Can't find Tavernier. Comes off the chest of Neves. Auschnes inside to Florentino. Then out to the left here to Tengstedt. Brilliantly worked here from Benfica, who have just seemed to have got better since they scored the goal. Rafa out to the right to Di Maria. Edge of the box here. Di Maria. Can he work his magic? Goes across to his left to Bar, who will shoot it towards that bottom right corner. It had to be tipped behind by Butland. Good save from the 31-year-old. Thought Di Maria might have gone on his own there, but we used Alexander Bar, who's searching for his first Europa League goal, and curled it around Lundstrom and almost got it behind Butland. So Benfica corner. If they score a second, it's definitely tie over for the current Portuguese champions. Hi, bro. Hi. We've got Carlos in the chat. Hope you're all enjoying this live commentary. If you're a Rangers fan, you're probably not enjoying it as much, but they're still in it. A goal behind as the corner goes in, and the finish has gone wide. The ball drops to Antonio Silva in the area from a couple of yards out. And as a centre-back, he just couldn't adjust himself to get the shot on goal and on target. It went so far wide, I think it almost just bounced off him. As Rangers go forward, Matondo slips it through for Fabio Silva in the final third. Just outside the area, enters the box. Fabio Silva, on his right foot, lifts it in and it deflects. And it's a corner on the far side for Rangers. As we go from one big chance for Benfica at one end, Rangers nearly find themselves through at the other. It's going to be a left-footed outswinger from Rivdan Yilmaz. They just simply have to score. As Yilmaz delivers, near post, easy volley for away for Neves. Shocking cross. Runs back for Yilmaz, who's going to shield this out for a throw-in if possible, but instead it's kicked around him by Neves. That is unbelievable. It's now into Di Maria. Goes forward out to the left. Can he find a teammate in red? No, he can't. Cut out by Tavernier. But he can only kick it out for a throw-in. But when you get a corner like that, it's got to beat the first man as a minimum. Just not good enough at all there by Yilmaz. As Rangers are running out of time here. I don't think the Europa League necessarily is the priority this season. They've got the league in their favour at the moment. It's in their hands. They've already won the League Cup. They are looking for a domestic treble. So I don't think it'll be the end of the world for Rangers if they crash out tonight. But it would put a bit more pressure on winning those other two trophies available to them. As Benfica have it halfway line, far side, Di Maria. Pulled down by Yilmaz, but not enough for the referee to give a foul. Di Maria still has it, plays it through for Florentino. Just lifts it into Rafa, who's got the ball poked away from him by Suter. And the ball will race out for a goal kick. Last touch off a Benfica man. I'm not sure about that one, but that's what the decision that's been given. Yilmaz beyond the halfway line now. Lays it off for Campbell, who's just not been able to get in the game since coming on. And his pass is just overhit. I don't know why he's hit that so hard. Fabio Silva couldn't control it. Throwing in a right back area for Benfica. They're going to make another change here. Rangers with 5 minutes to play. Searching for a goal. It's Mohamed Diamande to come off for the number 43 of Nicholas Raskin. Making just his 4th Europa League appearance of the season. So Benfica throwing out midway inside the Rangers half on that far side. As their main objective is just to kill the clock. Throw goes down the line. Lifted forward. Di Maria's offside. Free kick for Rangers. In a left-back position. It's got to go quickly now for Rangers. Just haven't created enough dangerous opportunities to really earn themselves a goal so far. Lundstrom forward out to the left there to Yilmaz. Inside to the right to the substitute Raskin. Forward for Fabio Silva, who keeps the ball in play. On the left wing, he's got the overlap of Yilmaz. Finds him, crosses it into the area towards Kamaru. Header won by Otamendi. Drops to the edge of the box to Tavernier. Goes across to Lundstrom, who shoots towards the bottom left corner. And it's a very comfortable save for Trubin. Lacked the power necessary there from Lundstrom. As that cross from Yilmaz wasn't that bad. Towards Kamaru, if it was a strong header won by Otamendi. Trubin kicks it long out of his hands. And it's a touchdown for Tavernier, all on his own. So Rangers just win the ball back quite easily there. Butland has it in the 18-yard box. They need to get this ball forward here, Rangers. Suter forward and out to the left once again to Yilmaz. Beyond the halfway line. Ball across to the right, poked through by Neves and to the goalkeeper of Trubin. Good midfield work there by João Neves, who's been one of the players of the tie in that midfield. He's been absolutely brilliant, the 19-year-old. And you can understand why so many top European clubs are after him. A Trubin's kick out of his hands, that's a poor one. Controlled by Di Maria on halfway, but one back by Raskin off Neves. Charging down the left-hand side, Raskin still has it, and then brought down by Neves, fairly, says the referee. That's a free kick for Benfica. Kamar Roof with the strong tackle. Good run in there from Raskin. Just surrounded by red shirts in the end. And Kamar Roof came in quite aggressively and gave away a free kick. So 2 minutes left plus added on time for Rangers to save themselves in the Europa League. Suter heads away from the free kick, headed forward by Florentino as far as Galton, who almost got the ball stuck under his feet but moved it in time to get it back to Butland, who is going to go long here. It's a big kick up towards Kamar Roof, header won by Otamendi. It'll fall here for Kukcu, who's volleyed forward, can't quite find Rafa. Lundstrom to the left here to Fabio Silva, who gets there ahead of Bar. Fabio Silva out to the left, it goes behind Yilmaz, and quite simply, Rangers just have not been good enough tonight to get themselves through. Simple as that. I don't necessarily think Benfica's been amazing. I don't think they've been a level ahead or anything like that. Just the Rangers themselves have just been off the pace. If Rangers do get an equaliser and they go to extra time, Benfica will be without Angel Di Maria. They're bringing off the 36-year-old for number 20, Jean Mario, who started both games against Toulouse in the playoff round of the Europa League, but has been on the bench for the 2 legs against Rangers. Villarreal, are they 3-0 up? Oh, they are. So Villarreal need one more goal against Marseille to get that to 4-4 on aggregate. That would be crazy. As Rangers have lost the ball. Jean Mario to the left here to Kukcu. Bundled down by Tavernier, but he's just gone down too easily. Tavernier brings it forward for Rangers. Beyond the halfway line, he's got options out to the right of Matondo. His first pass deflects, but straight back towards him, where he has to slide in and he loses out there. Just not good enough for Tavernier. Usually someone who is consistently an 8 out of 10 for Rangers. Just giving the ball away there. Kukcu inside. Florentino to Mario, who's ball out wide. Can't find a shirt in red. A player in red, sorry. And that'll be a Rangers throw-in. They've already shifted it out to the left. West Ham are 5-0 up. AC Milan still 3-0 up. And Villarreal just need the 1 goal late on to get it back to 4-4 against Marseille. 5 minutes added on here at Ibrox. Tavernier puts the ball into the box. It's well cut out on the slide tackle by Otamendi. Cleared by Auschnes. Throwing for Rangers in the final third. Just bounced in front of him there, Otamendi. Did really well to deal with it. Tavernier. Back it goes to Galton. Across into the centre circle now to Suter. Yilmaz on the left. On the ball. Forward to Fabio Silva. Keeps it away from Bar for the moment. Fabio Silva. Keeps it well. Back to Yilmaz. It's now with Suter on halfway. Forward for Raskin. Lays it off for Lundstrom. Forward for Roof, who is tackled by Neves. It's now forward to Tengstedt, who gives it away to Lundstrom. Yilmaz through to Lundstrom again. Forward for Cantwell. Lays it off to his left here for Fabio Silva. Back it goes to Lundstrom, and I don't think the Rangers fans like that. They wanted him to just go forward and run at it. Raskin. Yilmaz lifts it into the box towards Roof. Flicked on and behind. For a goal kick. Just not created enough at all in this second half for Rangers, which is such a shame because after the first leg they performed so well, brought it all level to play the second leg at Ibrox, but haven't been good enough. The current match winner, Rafa, is going to be substituted here and added on time. And he will be replaced for Benfica by Thiago Gouveia, who scored in the league game at the weekend as he started it against Estoril Pereira. So we've got 3 minutes of added on time to go. Goal kick goes long. Last touch there off Tengstedt. And it's a throw-in for Rangers, taken quickly into the centre of the field here for Galton, who's looking out to the near side. Finds Tavernier on the halfway. Lifts it down the right-hand side. Galton's continued his run. Header away from Otamendi. Won by Matondo. Heavy touch and it's cleared by Florentino. Through the legs of Cantwell there by Kukcu. And it's into Neves, who marauds beyond the halfway line. He's got Gouveia to his left, and he finds the number 47. Ball to his right, finds Kukçu. Heavy touch away from Lundstrom, and can't get away from Tavernier, though. And it's into the hands of Butland, and it's got to go for Rangers. 2.5 minutes to play. Butland still has it. Just needs to go. Clears it long. Towards Kemar Roof. Loses out to Otamendi. Gouveia for Benfica. His pass back is cut out by Raskin, who plays it forward for Matondo. Can't get beyond Auchnez, but the pass inside from Neves cut out by Campbell. But the Campbell touch gets away from him. But eventually, after Roof winning the ball back, it's with Rangers once more. Less than 2 minutes to play. Yilmaz down the left in the box to Fabio Silva. Chops beyond Antonio Silva. Fabio Silva on it, just needs to make his mind up and make a decision. He takes too long, he's been tackled. Ball cleared off the hand of Campbell, and it's played forward and wide. Fabio Silva, talk about hesitation. He's got to do something with that. Jean-Mario came in and tackled him, and eventually, as Benfica tried to clear it, deflected off Suter to Campbell, who tried to poke it towards goal, but wide it went. But I think as he controlled it, Campbell, it came off his hand. It may have been a handball if the ball had ended in the back of the net. Trubin takes the goal kick straight out of play on halfway on the far side. Still alive here for Rangers. Raskin on halfway. Gets it out to the left here to Yilmaz. Early cross. Floats into the box. Straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. I mean, I haven't watched all of Rangers' games under Philippe Clement, but this has got to be one of the worst performances so far. Especially second half. First half, they weren't too bad. They looked a little bit better on the ball, but this second half, not created enough. Jean-Mario sprinting away down the right-hand side. Bit too much of a heavy touch there. Connor Galton comes across and tackles him. And Yilmaz clears it away down the Rangers' left. Campbell plays it forward here for Fabio Silva. Pass deflects off Alexander Florentino. And it's a Rangers throw-in taken quickly. Fabio Silva on halfway. Brought down to the ground there by Kasper Tengstedt, who will be booked. And with 10 seconds to go on the halfway line, on that far side, this is probably it for Rangers. Butland's going forward. They're going to launch this one in. So Butland goes up for it. Last chance for Rangers. This is it. Tavernier to deliver the ball. Towards the edge of the box. Galton heads it on. Towards Suter. Headed won by Auchnez. It's out to the right to Matondo, who keeps it away from Florentino. Through for Campbell, who gets it in front of him. Tackle from behind, though, by Gouveia, but they can't clear it. Oh, they can eventually. Benfica. Kukçu. Ball inside to Florentino. Touch gets away from him. Collected by Raskin. To the left to Tavernier. Fabio Silva now on the ball. They're running out of time. We've played the 5 added on. It needs to go in for Tavernier. Oh, what on earth was that? He kicks it forward about 10 yards. Got his foot stuck under the ball. Benfica clear it. We're still going. We've nearly played a minute extra. Suter goes long. Up towards Roof. Beyond Otamendi. Campbell tries to go back to Roof. It eventually falls to him. But they can't get it forward in time. Whistle is blown. And Benfica progress through into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Rangers knocked out by the current Portuguese champions by 3-2 on aggregate. 1-0 on the night. The goal was scored with a quarter of the game left to play. A counter-attack from a corner from Rangers, cleared by Florentino, up to the halfway line to Di Maria, who headed it on to Rafa, who just about stayed in his own half to stay on side, latched onto the ball, entered the box, got himself on the angle to just drill the ball into the bottom left corner. Beyond Butland, it was the only goal that was scored tonight. It was the only goal that was needed for Benfica to get them through to the last 8. And in a place which is so hard to come to, they have progressed. They have come out on top. And here at Ibrox, it finishes Rangers 0, Benfica 1. And aggregate, it's a 3-2 win for Benfica over 2 legs. Marseille scored, did they? Okay, so Marseille through. So AC Milan through, Marseille through, Benfica through, West Ham through. 4 really good teams going through already into the last 8. But I don't know what happened with Rangers in that second half. but that was just simply not good enough. That will definitely seem like a chance wasted in this season's Europa League to try and get to the last 8. They'll be very frustrated with themselves there, Rangers. 100%. Did not make enough clear-cut chances in that second half to earn the right to get this to extra time. GG's Benfica, great stuff, mate, now. Now going to watch Liverpool. Yep, enjoy that Liverpool game. Thanks, mate. Thank you for all joining. Thank you for getting involved in the chat there. The Lim report does help out the stream, getting involved in the chat. Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm absolutely starving. I'm lightheaded. I'm that hungry. So I'm going to get going. I've also got my team to watch now. Stockport County. We're on Salford away, so I've got to go and watch that. That kicks off at 8. So I'm going to get some food and get ready for that one. But if you did enjoy it, make sure you like and subscribe. Next 2 commentaries are both on Sunday. We've got an early kick-off at 12:30. It's Brighton women taking on Manchester City women in the WSL as Manchester City aim for a first WSL title since 2016. They've just been knocked out of the League Cup and the FA Cup in the same week last week. Manchester City, so they've got some bouncing back to do. And we're going to be covering La Liga, I think for the first time on the channel. It's not usually shown that often in England, but it is this season, and we're going to be covering Atletico Madrid against Barcelona, who have both got themselves into the Champions League quarter-finals this week, so that should be a good game there at the Metropolitano. But if you did enjoy it, make sure you like and subscribe here after 2 legs in between Benfica at the Stadio de Luz and here at Rangers at Ibrox. It was a 2-2 draw in the first leg, but this second leg, it was starved of big chances. The one huge one which arrived to the feet of Rafa was taken with a quarter of the second half to go. Rangers never looked like scoring. They were seen out through a strong, sturdy Benfica defence and over 2 legs. It is finished here. Rangers 0, Benfica 1, but over the 2 legs. To get them into the quarter-finals, Benfica win. They are through. It finishes in aggregate. Rangers 2, Benfica 3.